Morning workflow. Okay, so the morning workflow. So yeah, there's a workflow that's in the morning. Some of us start really early in the morning, like 7, depending on the depending on the time. If there's something big going on, we might come in earlier, like at 6. Sometimes we stay all night working. But the point is that there's a morning workflow that you want to harness, especially if you're barely coming into the field. And usually in the morning time, everybody's quiet, not everybody's doing anything, everybody's getting to work. And that's the specific time where you can get a lot of things done. Like if you were to get to work and instantly start working, and it takes some skill set because you got to recognize too that you might be kind of tired in the morning, so there are certain menial tasks that you can take care of that are boring, that you don't really need that much brain energy. But the point is that if you get into that morning workflow when you get to work in the morning and you're not just sitting around having coffee, waiting till like 9 to start work, by the time 9 o'clock hits, you're already warmed up and you're already running and you're ready to keep working through the afternoon. So that's the most important thing, is that when you get to work, try to find something right away to work on that's going to occupy you till for like an hour. So the whole early morning, you're literally like in a flow state. Ideally, that's the best place to be, is in a flow state, because you're getting a lot done and a lot of time is passing by and you're reaping the benefits of that. So that's one of the most important things I've learned too. Like me personally, in the morning, I always go into a flow state in the morning. So by the time 9 o'clock hits, I've already finished a lot of work and I can continue working on other things. Because we never run out of work. There's always something to do. There's never going to be a time where you finish all the work. Okay. So there's always going to be something to do. And remember, people might try to ask you too, like, oh, what do you do when you finish all the work? And that's a trick question. Keep that in mind. You never say you finish all the work. You always say there's always something to do. Because if you tell somebody that, oh, I finished all the work, you're basically asking them to fire you. Like, oh, it's done. I'm done now. And that's what you don't want. And it's fucked up because people will try to trick you into saying stupid shit like that, you know. Like I had a boss one time who would show up to the property and she'll sit on the bookcase with her fucking legs open like this and just smile at us and talk to us like we're fucking retarded, you know. And uh I understand, like, some people, they need to dominate you. It's a dominance thing. They got to do that, just to show you who you're dealing with. But that's the other thing I want to go into a topic, is that you need to read books on leadership, and you need to go to trainings on leadership, and you need to learn how to lead people, because the best way to motivate people, to be honest with you, is you got to find a way to get them to want to do it. I know this sounds crazy, and it is fucking crazy. It is fucking crazy. But if you could find a way to do it, if you could find a way to work with people who don't want to work with you, I've been talking about this since the beginning of this channel. That's pretty much the first thing I said was one of the greatest skill sets we have as affordable housing managers, as property managers, as managers of people, is that we have to find a way to work with people who don't want to work with us. And when you want to get someone to do something, you have to find a way to get them to do it so that they want to do it. You know, you want to find a way to get them to want to do it. And you do that through encouraging as well. You want to encourage your people. When you give encouragement to people, they they keep doing that, what you want. They do that more. Versus if you reprimand people, then they'll still do it, but they do it less. It's kind of like when you're raising a child, you give your child lots of encouragement and they'll want to do things. Like, for example, if you have a kid and you have to take him to school tomorrow, and he doesn't want to go to school tomorrow, and it's a whole big thing because he doesn't want to go to school tomorrow, then you have to find a way. Okay, so if I was him, how can I get excited about school? What can I do to get me excited about school? Oh, well, maybe there's a game we can play. Maybe there's a game that they play at school. So then if you play that game with your kid for a little bit, and then you tell him, okay, that's it, no more. If you want to keep playing, you have to go to school tomorrow. Then that's going to motivate your kid to want to go. And it's the same thing that applies in business, is that you find a way to motivate somebody so that they want to do something for you, and then they do it for you, ideally. And you do that through encouragement as well. You want to encourage your people. You don't want to reprimand them. You don't want to make them feel belittled. There's a difference between leading and correcting somebody and belittling somebody, because, and it's a really fine line, because you can correct somebody and you can choose somebody out and they'll still look to you as a leader. But if you do the wrong thing, they're going to realize that you're belittling them, and leaders, they don't belittle people, so then they're not going to see you as a leader anymore. And there's a fine line that you have to walk, and you have to learn how to do that. And you can read some books too. You read books on leadership, you attend training on leadership, and also, you also got to be led. I think that's something that I didn't cover, but I haven't always been a leader. you know I was a follower for a long part of my life, and even in my military career, I wasn't a high ranking guy. I was just a private, to be honest with you. In my whole military thing, I never got past private. So I was always a follower, but I've been exposed to really great leaders who've really motivated me. I've also been exposed to bad leaders who've really put me down. And I've performed better for the leaders who motivated me than the ones who've basically made me do it out of fear, you know. So that's one of the things I want to talk about, is to make sure you encourage your people, make sure you motivate your people when you have people working for you. Tell them they're doing a good job, tell them you appreciate them, tell them, what can I do so that your job is easier here today? Good morning, how are you? Anything I can do for you today so that your job is easier today? You don't have to answer me right now. You can go think about it. As part of being a good leader too. And I think also that ties into I think that, it also ties into being Latino, because in the Hispanic Latino community, we don't encourage each other as much. And I might get some backlash, but it's really fucked up that, you know, as a race, as a community, we don't encourage each other. We kind of just like, oh, you're a man, so you have to go and get dirty and do the work. And that's just what's required of you. But there's no encouragement, and we don't appreciate, like it's implied, yeah, but when you verbalize that, you're telling somebody, I appreciate you and I appreciate the work that you're doing and I appreciate the sacrifices that you've made. Those things resonate, and those things make people feel good, and people are always going to remember how you made them feel. And if you make people feel good, they're going to remember you made them feel good. So remember, you always want to encourage your people, motivate your people, and you have to have energy to do it too. So drink some fucking coffee, wake up, and let's get it.